I'm just curious, do you think that Democratic senators right now and in leadership are using their power effectively? And is there things, if you were there right now, would you be doing things differently? Because I do think people wonder, are you going to use your power when you have it? Right. And I'm hearing you talk about organizing, and you are an organizer, and that is important. But there are some organizers in there and they can't get traction because of the powers that be. How do you think about that? Also, in the vein of restoring more people's trust in Democrats and in government.
When I see really these progressive champions who are leading in the Senate, I am deeply disappointed, right, that there were folks who cut a deal at the end of last year, right, which gutted healthcare for so many people. But now, coming up this week, there is another opportunity to say not one penny for ICE and for DHS, like this funding. It's outrageous. This should be a line in the sand when you see two Americans who were killed by federal agents. That alone should be enough. But if you need to see the fact that 5-year olds and a 2-year old were taken to Texas, that we are seeing people violently ripped from vehicles, flashbangs going off like it's a war zone, and just the chaos and terror that's being inflicted on our community, all in the name of safety, that should be enough. So if I were there, I would be setting myself on fire, telling people about what is happening in our streets, because it is not unique to Minneapolis. It is not unique in Minnesota. What is happening in our streets will come to your town.
Do you think that Democrats in the Senate are using all of the power they have effectively? Is there something you would be doing differently if you're elected this fall?
Well, even during the last government shutdown, I was very critical of Senate Democrats who caved at that moment in time. I thought that, Donald Trump had just gotten back from his worldwide travels, and that we had a moment in time to actually get the ACA tax credits extended. Not that that is the full solution on healthcare. I 100% don't believe it, but why would you cave when you were just beginning the negotiation in all respects? On the Senate now, I would give anything to be a U.S. Senator from Minnesota right now when Kristi Noem has to come testify in front of the United States Senate. I would give anything to be able to hold her to account and fight on behalf of Minnesotans. And as they head to Washington, what I would say is right now, America, we're watching you. We're watching Senate Democrats as to whether or not they are going to fold or they're going to hold the line. This is not a normal time. I've said before, I've been one of the most bipartisan members of Congress here in Minnesota. That's not a dirty word to work where you can with the other party. But this moment in time, we've got to stand up to this administration. And, I voted to not fund DHS in the House last week, but while they are terrorizing Minnesota, I won't vote for any of their funding bills. So I voted for against all of them. This is the moment we have to recognize that we do have very little leverage in the minority. There's a hell of a lot more of it in the U.S. Senate than there is in the House. And as a U.S. Senator, I would intend to use it.